What's up? This your boy JG back with another video on music tips and reviews with JG. Appreciate y'all for watching this episode on my channel. Like I always say, please subscribe to my channel if you love my content, my reactions, my tips. Like I said, this year I strive to do more tips this year to really encourage a lot of you producers and songwriters and creatives out there, as far as music creation. As y'all know, I'm a songwriter producer myself. Love music, ever since I was real young. 7 years old, learning piano. Just engulfed myself into music, staying consistent as far as, producing and songwriting. And so I just want to encourage a lot of y'all people, a lot of production, music producers out there, as far as producing a song. The question is, are you overproducing your song? I feel a lot of producers have to learn how to at sometimes tame their production. You can overproduce a song. I remember watching videos, interviews of Brian Michael Cox. He was talking about when he first worked with Jermaine Dupri. As y'all know, Brian Michael Cox is an incredible keyboardist, pianist, and he was producing "You Got It Bad," and he had all these swells, he had all these strings, and he had Jermaine Dupri listen to it, and Jermaine Dupri said, you adding too much. And so Jermaine Dupri went in there, he took all those strings out, he left a few things that was in the record, but that became a hit record. He made it more simple. Jermaine Dupri, he made the record more simple, and it came out to "You Got It Bad" on the 8701 album. And so there's a such thing than overproducing a song. A friend of mine, great guy I know, a producer. He's up and coming. He's been in the game for a while, but he's really up and coming right now. He worked with Pharrell, and Pharrell said, at one time he was overproducing, and once he really, listened to that, took those words from a great producer as Pharrell and Neptunes, he became a great producer, himself in his own right. It just, you have to learn how to balance, your sound. Everybody wants their unique sound. As opposed, a lot of people still kind of copying people's styles. But anyway, pertaining to this subject, you just have to learn how to, make it simpler. A little thing I do, when I produce is I may not add a whole lot. I might send somebody a skeleton of a beat and they write to it, or they sing to it, or record to it. And I may add some stuff, a little icing on the cake later on, to add to their vocals, around their vocals. That's a little trick as well, so you won't overproduce. Producers like Darkchild, they say, every certain amount of bars, it should be something different in your production. And I think it's a such thing than underproducing as well. A lot of producers starting off, they think a loop is production, and real production is creating a storyline from start to finish. Nowadays, songs are shorter, 3 minutes at the most. Songs these days, the average song usually be like 2 minutes and 40 seconds, nowadays. But at a time, songs, like Michael Jackson songs, they'd be like 5 to 6 minutes. And you're so intrigued throughout the whole song. But a lot of people's attention span, these days, it's not that long anymore. And so You have to attract people, even from the intro of your song. I learned that, listen to L.A. Reid, you have to be interested from the first intro. And, you listen to songs from back then and you hear that intro, you just get up because you know what song is coming on. And, but overproducing is adding too much, to a song where the vocals don't really have a place to lay. Sometimes a trick is, when you're producing a song, you may hum a melody, and if that music is kind of interfering with the top line that you're creating in your head, that shows that you're overproducing, and it can get away from the melody. And if you listen to Babyface songs, perfect example. His production is simple. He has his signature chord progressions that he often go through. And me, I study a lot of great producers, and that's another tip. Study great producers. How do they produce? What do they do on this certain part of the song? What chord do they go to on this? What kind of sounds do they use on certain songs to make the song so effective and so classic? You have to look at those things if you if you want producing and songwriting to be your profession, your career. You have to study the greats. And you just have to do that. You have to study the greats. And as far as overproducing, you just have to create, like I said, create a balance in the song where every instrument has its place. Every instrument is placed in the right pocket, as I would say. I would say stay in the right pocket, because I believe the greatest hits that's been out in history has been simple. They haven't been so very complex. And that's a key. As I often hear a lot of great songwriters and producers say, that melody is king. And so when your song is going against that melody that's supposed to be ingrained in people's heads, that's when you have a problem with your song or your production. Is because you're not you shouldn't be fighting that main melody, because melody is king, and melody will stay throughout history. You can't fight a great melody. And that's the key to longevity as well, is having a strong melody. And if your melody is strong, if your top line melody is strong, that song will stay on the radio forever. I guarantee you that. That song will stay on the radio forever. And so those things, tips, do not overproduce. Sometimes you feel like you don't have enough, and sometimes when you get to that point where you feel like it's you've done a lot, add a vocal up there. Get an artist to sing over it. If they feeling it from the beginning. If they feeling it, add some vocals. Even add your own vocals and see if you're overproducing the song, because that's very important, not to overproduce or underproduce, because you have to keep the song interesting. You don't want to just put a loop throughout the whole song. And I've listened to past songs I've done in the past, and I've underproduced, and I was like, I could have added more to make the song more interesting, but I've been blessed that I haven't heard a song back and said I overproduced, because that's not good to overproduce a song. I often hear a story Doc Child says, at the beginning a lot of people thought he was overproducing, but his production was very effective. A perfect example I heard, it's not right but it's okay. by Whitney Houston. And I love, this is just an example, and I love the way the strings follow the background vocals on the B part of the verse, the B part. I just love the way that pre-hook, the way those strings follow the vocals, and that's an example of giving the artist the track, but then adding around the vocals to make the vocals pop out. And that's a little production trick that you should try, because a lot of producers, they get lazy. They produce the record, they produce the beat, and they just give it to the artist, and they never listen back and say, what can I add to make the artist pop out, or the melody pop out, because like I said, melody is king. And so I just wanted to do this video because me and my producer friend, we had this conversation, and I admire his production, because me writing over his beats, he leaves enough space for me to add my top line to it, because oftentimes I'm from a songwriter's standpoint, writing over a beat, because sometimes I may get beats, people send me beats to write to, and it's overproduced. They already have a main melody in the song and the beat, and you don't want that as a songwriter. You don't want a melody over the beat, because that kind of interferes with your creativity and your mind as far as creating a lyric or lyrics in the song. And so I hope this is great advice for you producers out there to not overproduce, because that is a thing that is an issue that a lot of beginner producers, or even producers that's been in here a while, and they like, well, I can't get placements because you're not leaving space for the artist to give thought to the song. It's a lot of examples, even thinking of the producer for Drake, 40. I love the way he leave a lot of space in his productions. Thinking about the song by Alicia Keys, Unthinkable, I'm Ready. I love the way she 40 just leaves space for her vocals. And it's just a lot of examples of great songs where it's not overproduced, but it's effective. Like I said, You Got It Bad, it's not right, but it's okay. Songs like that are classic, and we still listen to this day. And so appreciate y'all for tuning in to another episode of Music Tips and Reviews with JG. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. I've kind of a whole lot of thoughts. I may have been all over the place on this video, but I hope y'all learned something from this video, and appreciate y'all for watching. Continue to support my channel, Music Tips and Reviews with JG, and tell your mother, your father, your sister, your brother, your cousins, everybody that loves music to join my channel, subscribe to my channel, and appreciate y'all for watching. And I hope y'all got something from this. Do not overproduce your song, because you're not going to get a lot of placements overproducing. You have to have those sounds that really pops out and be effective. And so appreciate y'all for tuning in. Until next time, all right, peace.